welcome back. This is part 3 to our trip down in Durhamtown last April, and in front of me is Mike, and if you recall in the past video, I think it was part 1 maybe, or part 2, I don't know, his shifter was broken and he didn't get to see Moose Trail. So,
back on the Moose Trail. You're on the Moose Trail!
Well, I've been remiss in not showing you a map of Durhamtown. Here it is, and the Moose Trail's in the upper right corner. Give it a little tighter shot here in a second, but it's the largest single track for dirt bikes.
Alright man, I'll follow you. Like I say, don't wait for me, do your own thing.
And just for scale, when you looked at that map, that's about 5,000 acres and over 100 miles of trail, which aren't going to ride themselves, so let's get at it.
Yeah, he's not far behind at all.
All the trails are pretty numbered here, but if you went back and you looked at that map, you can see it's a bit convoluted in terms of how you get from one section to another in some areas. So what I was doing was kind of running ahead at whatever pace I was going, and then I would wait for Mike, which really wasn't that long. I wasn't driving her today except for later on, and I do pay the price. Unfortunately, I don't have video of that. So on day 1, we did come here to ride Moose Trail, Moose Track, Moose Toe? I don't know. Doesn't matter. But in that video, there's a bunch of other trails that we were riding as we were kind of playing around that day. So for this video, everything you're going to see is going to be the Moose Track. And it's not the entirety of the track, but it's segments of it. I think it's numbered 1 through 7, and I don't remember exactly how long it would be in exact kilometers, but it is fairly long, so you would probably have to run a camera for 45 minutes or more just to cover all the trail here.
You loving moose now?
Ooh, I ate shit.
Yep.
Fucking those needles hide some slippery shit.
Yep, they do.
I hit one of them greasy, it was a rut just like that. Was totally not expecting it. Like it was not even expecting to white. As soon as the front tire hit the water, I think there was a sideways route.
Yeah.
And it was like somebody booted my bike out from underneath me. It went so fast.
All right.
So at this point, we're more than a third in, almost halfway probably, and you can hear those 4 strokes, and in fact, here's one of them. I end up racing with them a little bit, or racing quotation marks, we're not pushing super hard, and I end up passing one of them, but there's a young fella on another one who's really quite fast, and we start going a bit more head to head. Unfortunately, I override my skills and I hit a tree. And even more unfortunate, I didn't have my camera running. We had just taken a break, and we're just getting up to pace again, and I clipped a bar on a tree, my left bar, which sent me to the right hard and into a tree and down. What you will hear is me pissing and moaning about it as I ride along by myself after that, because I had to take a little bit of a break. I seriously thought I injured my leg. In fact, it did leave a bit of a mark, but it was more emotional than anything else.
Okay, back on your game. I just turned the camera on and you missed me eating shit hard. You'll off the left handlebar and into the fucking tree on the right. Game. Smoked my fucking shin really good. Oh, now I'm off my game. The leg hurts pretty hard. That would have been a broken leg with the regular pair of boots.
You might be able to hear it in my voice, but probably more in the words that I'm using. That hurt quite a bit, and unfortunately it's making it really hard to stand and even harder to shift because it is my left leg. That said, nothing broken, which is a far cry better than how one of our team members made out, who I didn't even get to meet because they didn't even make it down here. Two of them had headed out ahead of us by a week. Headed out ahead of us? No, that works. By a week and went to another park. And on the first day, one of the guys broke his arm. So we did end up with a spare bike down here, but minus one rider. Alright, it's time for a little self-mentoring here. Those warm, soothing words to get you to try a little harder and, feel better about yourself.
Okay, come on. That's enough fucking tooting along like a slow ass motherfucker.
Alright, I'll admit that was pretty weak, but I was the only audience for that, so you'll have to forgive me. I've done better, you'll have to trust me on this.
What the fuck?
Pretty sure when I crashed I didn't hit my head, but this is making me think maybe I did. All the trails here are fairly well marked if you keep your head up and your eyes open, because they're all flagged for one direction and generally signed to let you know when you're moving from one section to the other. Clearly I've missed something because I came up a hill and there's an arrow pointing down the hill. So, safety first. Probably what happened is I was squeezing out a few tears and my eyes were clenched shut, feeling bad for myself after berating myself, but whatever. Somewhere here just to the right you're going to see another bike, just briefly, and I think that's Mike. So we're not too far off. Hey Mike. So with Mike not too far behind and the end of this trail not too far in front of me, it's time to pretend that the tears in my eyes are not from berating myself, but from a little bit of dirt, and that my leg doesn't hurt, because I'm a man, and the only time it's okay to cry is if your bike is broken or your dog dies. and only then one tear. That's it. Alright, hope you enjoyed this one. I'll get out part 4 shortly.
Have to stop and straighten my handlebars.
How's your ankle and your shin feeling?
Shin felt like shit for a little while. It's okay now. That was a good eat shit moment.